So, how does one single catastrophic defeat spark a firestorm of betrayal, vengeance, and total war between allies? Today, we're diving deep into a devastating chain reaction that starts with a failed rescue and ends in the absolute annihilation of a people. Let's unravel this chain of vengeance, starting with the mission that went so horribly, horribly wrong.
Just look at this number, 600,000. Let that sink in for a moment. That's how many men fell in a single battle outside of Ramesses in Egypt, a loss on a scale that was about to reshape the entire region.
And this was the force they brought to the fight. The sons of Seir the Horite linked up with the children of the East, and together they formed an army so massive it was like the sand on the seashore. You have to imagine, they probably thought they were invincible, unstoppable. And they were marching with one clear goal in mind: to rescue their brothers who were being held as slaves in Egypt. This was supposed to be a mission of liberation, of justice, but instead, it became the spark that set everything ablaze.
Because at Ramesses, they ran headlong into the forces of Joseph and Egypt. And the clash, well, it was a complete catastrophe for the invaders. Joseph's warriors didn't just defeat them, they crushed them. The mighty army of Seir was practically wiped from existence. The rescue had failed in the most brutal way you can imagine.
Eliphaz, the son of Esau, and a handful of survivors, they fled. Joseph's forces chased them all the way to Succoth, but as they scattered back to their own cities, the real conflict was just getting started. The war they brought home wasn't against Egypt anymore, it was against each other.
You can just feel the rage in these words. The people of Seir turned on their former allies, the sons of Esau, with everything they had. Their accusation was simple and direct. This is all your fault. Your war cost us everything. Our warriors are dead, our lands are defenseless. The blame game had begun. So the sons of Seir laid down a stark ultimatum. Get out of our land, now. But the children of Esau, they just flatly refused. And just like that, an alliance forged for a common cause completely shattered under the weight of this defeat. A new war was now brewing, and it was inevitable.
With their alliance in total ruins, both sides immediately started preparing for battle. But this wasn't going to be some simple skirmish. No, they both reached out, looking for powerful new allies to help tip the scales in the war that was about to break out.
So the children of Esau, they make a secret move. They reach out to Angeas, the king of Africa, a sharp, strategic ruler. He wasn't getting involved out of friendship, you know? He saw a strategic opportunity, and he sent his absolute best troops to back Esau's cause.
But Seir made a call of their own. They rallied the children of the East, the same ones from that disastrous Egyptian campaign, and the children of Midian, and they answered, bringing hundreds of swordsmen, all of them ready to settle the score.
And so, the new battle lines were drawn. On one side, you've got Esau's descendants, backed by Angeas' professional infantry and cavalry. On the other, the people of Seir, now reinforced by swordsmen from the east and Midian. The wilderness of Paran was about to become the stage for a massive conflict between kingdoms.
What happened next wasn't just a single clash. It was a brutal 10-day war. 10 days of shifting momentum, shocking betrayals, and savage fighting that would ultimately decide who would survive.
And at first, it really looked like Seir was going to get their revenge. On day one, they were completely dominating. But then on day two, something unthinkable happened. Some of Esau's own men switched sides right in the middle of the battle, joining Seir. It was a betrayal that just shattered Esau's forces, leaving them on the verge of total collapse.
I mean, can you imagine the despair in their camp? This question was probably echoing everywhere. How do you even fight an enemy when your own brothers have turned on you? Their morale was completely gone.
But this number changed everything. In total desperation, Esau's descendants sent another plea to King Angeas. And he came through, sending 600 more elite warriors. This was the moment the entire war turned on its head.
So, after 10 long days of fighting, now bolstered by these fresh troops, the children of Esau launched one final ferocious assault. And this time the tide turned, and it turned hard. They finally broke the forces of Seir for good.
The final numbers here tell a shocking story. 2,000 of Seir's fighters were killed, all their mighty men gone. Esau's side took losses for sure,
But what they achieved was a crushing, absolute victory.
With Seir's army totally destroyed, their allies saw the writing on the wall and they took off. But for the children of Esau, victory on the battlefield wasn't nearly enough. Their thirst for vengeance had grown far beyond the original fight, and this war, it was far from over.
Esau's warriors didn't just let them run. No, they gave chase, hunting down the fleeing children of the east. They cut down another 250 of them as they ran, sending a final, brutal message to anyone who dared to side against them.
And then they returned to the land of Seir. What happened next wasn't a battle. It was a systematic eradication. They moved through the land and they killed everyone who was left. Men, women, the elderly. Everyone.
Out of an entire nation of people, this is how many were left alive. 50. Just 50 young boys and girls. And they were only spared to be taken as slaves and wives. The people of Seir were effectively erased from their own land.
And so, that chain reaction that began with a single defeat in Egypt finally reached its devastating conclusion. A new order was established, one that was founded on total conquest and sealed in blood.
You see, the children of Esau didn't just win a war. They inherited a kingdom. They moved into the land permanently, seized all the property, the livestock, the cities, and then they divided it all up amongst themselves. They took everything.
And this is the final, chilling outcome. A permanent redrawing of the map. This single statement just underscores the absolute finality of it all, and it really makes you wonder, how many of history's borders weren't drawn with ink, but with vengeance?